Here is another of the Rover V8 engines. This is a 3.5 litre that I've just picked up with the intention of rebuilding it while I wait for my 3.9 unit to come back. It's in really nice condition. Looks good. You can see I've removed the intake and the carburetors. It came with twin SU carbs, sorry, Stromberg carburetors. I'm not sure if they're the same thing or similar, but it came with two of those. All in here looks really nice. I've removed the timing cover, the timing chain and pulley. That's all off. It's real easy. It's about 8 or 9 bolts through the face of here, and then just a couple that go up through the sump. So it's really easy to remove. The entire engine itself is super simple. You can see on this side here, I've removed the rocker assembly, which is this right here. I've also removed the push rods, so the 8 push rods, and the lifters, which sit just like that, and roll over the face of the cam. So I'll show you there's a couple more left on this side. Let's pull it out. The head itself I'm going to take off next on both sides, and the head along with the carburetors, I'm going to have them ultrasonically cleaned. So here's the other side. This is how they look untouched. So you can see you get your rocker assembly, and yeah, so you need to remove the 2 14mm bolts on the top here. Oh, sorry, the 4 14mm bolts. That relieves the tension on these arms. Sorry, on these push rods. So these out, this off, those push rods out, and then the next stage, once you've removed each of the lifters, is to crack off these head bolts. Now let's get the head off. Okay, so I wanted to update you on what's going on with my 3.9 engine. I've just got the engine back. With regards to fitting the RX8 gearbox, it's back to the drawing board, unfortunately. We still have the issue of how on earth we're going to mate it. Now, the original idea was to get the manual flywheel on here, turned down a little bit, a Ford Sierra ring gear or some kind of Ford ring gear fitted, and a new starter mocked up, and a sandwich conversion plate bobbed on here, and the RX8 box mated to that. Now that's gone out the window now. The new idea is to fit a Rover P6B V8 automatic bell housing. Those were the automatic transmissions fitted to the Rover P6s. It's known as the Borg Warner Type 35 box. The Type 65 box is also compatible. The bell housing is the same, and the bell housing splits off the box. So the idea is to fit an automatic bell housing here, and then take the bell housing off the RX8 gearbox and mate them at the bell housing level. That means I can retain the original starter motor and flywheel setup, and that's fantastic, and we just kind of figure that out. So the guy I'm using is a guy called Andy Turner in Leeds. He's right on my doorstep, and he's got a history in stock car racing and all kinds of stuff like that, and he's built all sorts of things. He's built all kinds of Rover V8s from a smaller 2 litre, I believe he made a 2 litre high revving Rover V8 went to about 8,000 RPM, and he's also built them right up to 5.7 litres. So he's pretty clued up with this sort of stuff, and hopefully he can get the box to work. If not, maybe we're going to go down the route of fitting a better box, something like a American T5 Tremac gearbox, the world class one, which is really, really good and might be a worthwhile investment. It's a strong box, everyone uses them, so, but they are expensive, and the idea was to make this kind of cheap build, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, head removed. With the head removed, well, with the head off and all the pressure from these removed, you can then literally just pull out the crankshaft. Alright, another update for you guys. Here's the 3.5 block. I've got the sump off, I've turned it over, now I'm working on removing the crank. So that's that big old crank in the middle here, that moves obviously the pistons up and down. I believe the first step into removing this is to crack off the these kind of journals here, which hold the pistons in place. So I'm going to crack these off, remove all the journals, and then remove these big crank retainer thingamajiggies, and then we'll pull the crank out, and then with a bare block, you can see it is completely empty and void of everything now. Looks really good inside, actually, really good. So that's the next thing. Alright, so I've got the first piston out. It looks kind of alright in there, and the piston also looks to be in decent condition. The rings especially look pretty damn good. So handle is looks kind of hydraulic in there almost. So let's see. Bearing there looks really good. This especially looks good as well. So I think I'm going to leave the bottom end in one piece, to be honest, and work on getting that one rebuilt.